everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan, and joining me today is my dad.
Hey.
Dad, it's been a long time since you've been on the channel.
It has been a while.
And I think the only thing we've ever had Dad on the channel for is, hey, look, it's my dad.
That's right.
We did a, hey, look, it's my mom, and a, hey, look, it's my sister. And the first thing, the first time I showed any of my family off, and we kind of, just commiserated about the past and, our love of pop culture stuff and superheroes and science fiction stuff was Dad.
That's right.
And Dad asked if he could come back. And what we're doing today was completely Dad's idea.
Yes,
today, Dad is sort of kind of going to interview me, which is an interesting notion. And so what are we doing, Dad? What's the idea here?
Well, I have comprised 15 questions that I thought would let the viewership know a little more about Captain Logan.
Because, they don't hear me talk enough.
Because you don't talk near enough.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be interesting to see how many of these, and I'm sure this gets obscure. But
some of it, man,
and probably a lot of it really trivial and weird, right?
And it's actually surprise to the audience. It is not all science fiction.
Yeah,
it's just let's learn a little more about Captain Logan.
You're not going to get you're not going to get real personal, right? Like we're not getting into politics or religion or any of that kind of stuff. Okay.
No, not going to do that.
What was I going to say? It's going to be interesting to see if some of these end up being things that I can't help but answer in a way where I'm saying something I've said 1,000 times on the channel.
Well, that may be.
Yeah. So we'll have to get into it. All right.
That may be.
Well, here we go. So
I think it'll be fun.
So 15 questions from my dad to me.
15 questions.
I hope you guys enjoy this. Here we go.
And hopefully all of you out there kind of play along and see if we mention the things you'd mention.
Let me also mention that Dad is kind of filling in for Vince this week for Geeks Not Nerds. Vince and I weren't able to get together this week, so Steve filled in for the radio show, and Dad's filling in for Geeks Not Nerds. So we will be back to the multi-topic extravaganza again next week. We've still got at least 2 or 3 more of those left to do. So if you're wondering about your questions and whether or not they'll get answered, don't worry. We'll be back on that, me and Vince, next week. Let's get right into it.
All right.
Here we go.
Number 1. Captain Logan, what is your favorite animated dog?
I'm going to go with, and a lot of these are going to really get me, left field, like, oh God, I got to think of, Astro from the Jetsons.
That is my answer, absolutely. Astro from the Jetsons.
Runner-up, though, probably Ace the Bat Hound in Batman Beyond.
I'm also a Scooby-Doo fan.
See, I'm not a giant Scooby-Doo fan.
I like Scooby-Doo.
I gotta be in just the right mood. I always thought the Batman crossovers were funny. But yeah, I don't know if you remember Batman Beyond or if you ever saw that, but the elderly Bruce Wayne in that show has a really like kind of vicious Ace the Bat Hound. He's awesome.
Okay.
And that show made Batman having a dog make total sense. It was really a serious thing. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2.
The planet that you would most like to visit.
Like a real planet or a fictional planet?
Like a planet. That could go either way.
Oh, okay. All right.
A planet you would most like to visit, if it were possible.
Because obviously, a real planet is well, I don't really know, because, they'd all be kind of no fun right now. You know what I mean? I mean,
is that because they haven't built the hotel yet?
Exactly. Yeah. It's because I'd have to put on a spacesuit and be an astronaut. And as much as I love science fiction, being an astronaut was never one of my dreams. Really, I get motion sick really easily. And
that's funny.
Yeah. Okay. But in all seriousness, see, I said all seriousnness, and then this answer popped in my mind.
This comes up.
Bizarro World. Because
that wasn't serious at all.
Because yes, but I want to go to a planet that is a cube, a cube-shaped planet. Now, I'm sure I can come up with a better answer than that.
Now, see, I took that literally. I would have said Mars.
Okay. Well, you asked.
I did ask. I just want to know what you'd say.
I mean, I guess Mars over anything else in the,
in the real world.
I guess it'd be interesting to go study planets, but I don't know.
Number 3. About number 3.
Yeah, number 3. Thanks for getting us past that one.
I actually, for the viewership out there, I have 15 questions. There's 4 that I feel like are strictly science fiction.
Oh, okay.
If the others go that way, it's your fault.
I mean, but that's not a big deal. Other things I could have said, Kronos.
Okay.
You know, the Klingon homeworld. And Vulcan, you know, before they blew it up.
Before it blew up. Number 3.
Yeah.
Best on-screen kiss.
You know, I knew you were going to go there. Wow, good Lord. And with no time to think about it.
I know what I thought you would say.
That could be a complete stumper, Dad.
Wow.
I gotta give that some thought. What would you say?
You want to come back to it?
Well, what would your answer be?
I have an answer, and my answer was number 2 in AFI's list a couple of years ago when they did the top 100.
I just don't tend to think about stuff like that a lot. You know, I mean, that's just a little bit more. Of kind of the. I mean, forgive me for saying it like this, but the kind of just like kind of superficial stuff.
Well,
I just don't think about that.
Well, you said in the very beginning a couple of these would be obscure to you.
Yeah,
probably
that's
obscure to
definitely one of them. I mean, I can think of some really crappy ones, like Neo and Trinity never worked for me. But what would you have said?
My favorite is the.
It'll get my brain going.
My favorite is the 2 dogs eating spaghetti.
Oh, that's good.
And Lady and the Tramp.
Because
it wasn't even really a real kiss.
Wow.
It was an accident.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
I think that was great. I know what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say the first Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire upside down in the rain.
No,
that's what I thought you would say.
Because I hate that character.
Really? That's what I thought you'd say.
That Mary Jane, that whole thing just never really worked for me. I mean, like if I liked those characters more than maybe, but I don't know. And then that whole thing always seemed a little bit like gratuitous to me because like they've got her in the rain and she's not really wearing a bra. Just that whole thing. Like I don't know. I never cared for that whole setup.
And then there's like Go in the Wind. There's some great on-screen kisses.
Boy, there's nothing immediately jumping at me. Okay, we'll have to.
We'll revisit.
There's some fun like non-kisses, like some we led up to it and then we didn't actually like I like the one in Guardians a lot. But I don't know. I gotta think about it. You might have stumped me on that, dude. That's rough.
For me, it's Lady and the Tramp.
No, that's a really good answer.
I think that's a
great scene. I would not have come up with that off the top of my head.
And AFI listed that as number 2 all time. I believe I'm right. It was very high up there. I think it was second.
See, everything I'm coming up with are almost kisses.
Almost?
Yeah, because the other one that came to my mind was Roger Rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Was with Valiant and Jessica Rabbit with the necktie thing. That's quite a scene. Yeah.
Yes. One of the questions that did not make my list was who's your
favorite rabbit?
Sexiest animated character. I almost put that on there.
I mean, Jessica Rabbit's almost hands down for pretty much everybody.
It would be for me probably.
I guess there's other things you could say, but that'd probably be mine.
Number 4, favorite Power Ranger actor. Did you kind of know that was coming?
No, but that's a lot easier than the last one. So the tough thing with this,
because they never kissed, did they?
Not really.
The Power Rangers.
No, well, actually, no. I think there might be a Cat Tommy kiss. I forget.
Really?
I think there might be a Kimberly one somewhere, but I'm pretty sure Cat and Tommy actually had a kiss somewhere. I forget. I don't know. Okay, so that's it. It's an infinitely easier question. But my mind immediately goes to 2 places. It's okay. Are we talking voice actors or are we talking live action actors? Because you've got 2 different kinds of performances there. Like the guy who voiced Lord Zed wasn't the guy who was in the suit, but
no, that's true.
But he brought this like really unique, cool voice to that thing. So it's hard not to say that. I forget his first name. His last name is Axelrod.
I'm sure you could go either way with that. When I pinned this, I was thinking live action actor is what I was thinking.
Yeah. If we're talking original series, I'd probably it's a toss up between Jason David Frank and Austin St. John. I always liked Austin St. John because he played it so straight. Like you can never tell that from the perspective of that character that anything strange is going on at all. I mean, like he never played it like it was super goofy and like he was embarrassed to be there, and I was really like, and none of those guys did, but like he was the lead creator, and he really pulled that off. And I think he had a lot to do with why kids took that show as seriously as it did, regardless of, like, you know, hamburger monsters or whatever.
Right.
And then, I don't know if there ever was a hamburger monster.
I don't know.
And, but then...
You may have invented it.
But then I also go to Dino Thunder because the kid who played Connor in that is actually just legitimately a really good actor. And there's some other Power Rangers that have gone on and been really good, been major actors. But he is big in New Zealand, and he's actually a big time director in New Zealand now. He does kind of art house films, and he's won like their big major awards over there. And he is, and I forget his name, but he is the great grandson of the guy who played Alfred in the 60s Batman show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Alan Napier.
And
the kid who played Connor is something Napier, and I forget his first name.
Oh, that's cool.
But he's legitimately a good actor. Anyway.
Number 5.
Number 5.
When you walk into the store for one item, what is it most likely to be?
Any kind of store? I mean, like...
Any kind of store. That could be grocery store. That could be a discount center.
Depends on what time of year.
If you go to the store, or if you're sent to the store for one item, what is it most likely to be?
If I'm sent to the store?
Well, like your wife needs you to go get something, or...
So you mean what am I? Sorry, I'm hung up on it. Are you saying what am I likely
really
to?
Not that hard.
No, but are you saying like what if I go in, what am I likely to like run off and go get for myself, or what do I just go to the store and find myself buying all the darn time?
If you
like,
go,
I don't really understand this question.
If you go to the store,
because the second one's not that interesting. What does your wife send you to the store for? What? Medicine, milk, I don't know.
No, if you go to the store, and you are going there purposely to get one item, what is it most likely to be?
I mean, it just kind of depends on what kind of store, right?
For me,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
For me, it's either milk or eggs.
Oh,
if
okay.
I go for one thing, it's milk or eggs.
Yeah.
Generally.
See, the problem is my wife does most of the shopping. So like I don't find myself going for the problem is I don't have to go for the important like life stuff much of the time. It's oftentimes, you know, like more filler stuff or just stuff like for my business or whatever. Like, believe it or not, I have to run out of the store to buy like movies and comics and stuff. Like it's hard not to say comics, honestly, because like I go to a comic shop more than I go anywhere else. And oftentimes it is for something like really specific.
Well, then
where
it's
like
for you it may be.
It kind of is, you know what I mean? Because it's weird because like my fun and my business are so mixed that a lot of the time it's, you know, I've got to review something with somebody and I've got like 4 out of 5 issues of an arc. And I got to go find that last issue. So, I don't know. That's the thing that comes up a lot. Like I said, movies. My wife and I have a joke where every time we're going to go to Target, I always say, don't forget, I got to buy movies. we got to go get movies.
Because you have nothing to watch.
But if it's around Easter time, it's Cadbury eggs.
There you go.
I will make a trip specifically for Cadbury eggs. Oh my god, it's like my favorite thing. Probably soda. Probably Mountain Dew. Nobody will be surprised when I say
when you say Mountain Dew.
Probably Mountain Dew. Yeah, I run out of that more often. I'm drinking root beer right now.
Do you remember when you were younger and we together sold on eBay a lot? How many times we went to the store for microwave popcorn?
Oh, that's right.
You remember that?
Yeah, because we used to, and I don't even think you could do that anymore.
I don't know. We did it back then.
We used to say, well, you certainly couldn't do it and get away with going media mail.
No, and you couldn't do it overseas, as I found out the hard way.
But yeah, one of the gimmicks when Dad and I used to sell movies on, we used to do VHS tapes before before they were totally phased down. When people still, you know, would
bought them
more than 50 cents or $1, except for, you know, the really collectible stuff. One of our big gimmicks is we would give you a bag of microwave popcorn.
With your video purchase.
And when we did it with, now I brought the monkey to the channel now, and the monkey goes way. In fact, Dad is responsible for the monkey. So anybody that doesn't like the monkey, it's Dad's fault.
Oh goodness.
The monkey we used to use as a gimmick on eBay, and one of the things that we did at that, similarly to the popcorn, during that whole thing, is we used to put a banana-flavored Starburst in the packages. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
But that's another thing we used to do. Anyway, I'm stalling because I feel grilled, and this is.
You feel grilled.
I'm frazzled.
So that was number 5. So
frazzled rock.
Going to number 6, your favorite classic rock and roll band?
REO Speedwagon.
That's a good answer.
I've seen them 3 times in concert. I think I like them more because I've seen them in concerts. There was a time when I would have said Styx. But I think it's REO Speedwagon.
As you know,
ZZ Top is yours.
As you know,
or do you put that in the same classification? Because they're not really arena rock, are they? Like, does that count?
Oh yeah, they're definitely classic. I would definitely, had you asked me that, I would have definitely said ZZ Top. You know that, but you and I saw REO Speedwagon together once.
I know, we did.
And
I've talked about that before.
I
on the
love
channel.
REO.
There's a lot of classic bands I really like. Like Queen, and there's a lot of bands, but I don't know. REO Speedwagon I go back to a lot, and I think a lot of that's nostalgia. It's not anything that's really your fault, because you played me a lot of REO Speedwagon when I was a kid. Well, in a good way, But yeah, I still listen to them quite a bit.
Also, this is not tongue in cheek because we live in Kansas, but I like the rock group Kansas too.
Oh yeah, no, of course, Kansas absolutely.
Kansas, Boston, that type of.
Yeah, my problem with Kansas, of course, is just that there came a point where they didn't write as well. So they're like major classic stuff's really good. Oh yeah, I guess REO Speedwagon's like that too, and they've got kind of their greatest hits and not a lot else.
I think they all kind of do that or did that at one point, but
yeah.
But there are still some, and a lot of those bands we mentioned are still out there.
I'll say you and I saw Frampton a couple months ago, and I loved that.
Frampton was good.
I just loved them.
Frampton was very good. Okay, number 7.
Yeah.
Here's what, spoiler alert, this is one of the science fiction questions. Trek technology you wish we had.
I mean, it's of course a 3-way toss-up. Always a
3. Well, that was quick.
Oh yeah,
you've been asked this before.
This is a thing I think about.
Okay.
This is a 3-way toss-up.
But not going to the store, evidently.
How do you make that? When you said milk and eggs, I said, oh, so it doesn't have to be an interesting response. Okay. How do you choose with the convenience and the entertainment factor and the enjoyment of these 3 technologies? How do you choose between a holodeck, a replicator, and a transporter? I don't know how to choose between those 3 things.
See, I have an answer for that.
A transporter would be super, super useful because I can go any place in the world I want to, and I don't have to travel, and I don't have to worry about airplanes.
Or even out of the world.
Well, no, in the new continuity, because they have that stupid intraspace beaming thing where I don't even know why they have starships anymore. But no, before that, you can be up to a ship and go someplace.
Right.
But as far as being on the planet, but then obviously, a holodeck, then we all know why that's fun. And then with a replicator, you don't have to worry about going to the grocery store. I wouldn't even be able to answer your previous question. So I don't know. Like, how do you choose between those 3 things?
See, for me, it's the transporter because, first of all, the viewers don't know this unless we talked about it 2 years ago.
But you were once a mad scientist?
I was once a mad scientist. No,
all right.
No, I've been in the food.
I didn't know that either.
I've been in the food business for 36 years. I'm not replicating anything. I'm cooking it.
That's an excellent point. Sure.
So yeah. I wouldn't use a replicator. But
you're just basing that on the word of fictional characters that claim it doesn't taste as good. Yeah, you haven't tried it for yourself. You just don't know.
We all know it doesn't taste as good.
But you just
How could it?
But you just don't know. Well, but all you're doing is taking matter or energy and converting it into matter. I'm not sure why it wouldn't necessarily taste as good, depending on what it is you're talking about.
I guess you could replicate the seasonings too, right?
Yeah.
That would be the first thing I would say is you're not seasoning it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't understand. No, there's a lot of stuff with that doesn't make a lot. I still don't know what synthahol does. I don't understand that. But anyway.
So your answer is it's a 3-way toss-up.
If you put a gun in my head and made me pick, it'd be hard not to say holodeck.
Holodeck?
Yeah.
So I would say transporter.
One of the reasons I would go for holodeck is because I think writing for a holo novel would be really, really interesting. Because I've been in this place lately where more and more I'm being turned around on this notion that video games are a place that you can tell good stories. It can be a narrative art form, and the added complication of telling a good, compelling story where a person has to play the main character in a physical world. Really interesting to have to try to write for and still tell a compelling story about characters that feel like real people.
I could see that. That's a good answer. Okay, number 8.
Made up for the Kiss thing, dear God.
We got to go back to the Kiss, man.
It's all I can think about. I don't know right now. Oh my God.
Number 8. TV series you would never binge watch.
Well, see, I wish I hadn't done it with Susie's Batman. That was rough. Whew.
I mean,
Power Rangers comes to mind, and Steve Baxley did it, and he did it with all of it.
Oh.
All of it. And this guy, like, is a huge philosophy guy, and he's very smart, and I don't know how he didn't lose all of his brain cells. But you're going to say Lost in Space.
No, actually, I'm not.
But you wouldn't binge watch that show.
I actually tried to watch it.
I know that. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I actually tried to watch
That's why I said that. Matlock. I just don't feel like that would be all that binge watch.
I like that kind of stuff.
No, I like that kind of stuff too. But my point is that most shows, maybe they're not. They're certainly not all this way. Most shows that are all about standalone episodes, I feel like don't binge watch real well because I can't. Everything runs together after a while. Like I'm doing it with X-Files right now, and that sort of binges well and sort of doesn't because there's so many good standalone episodes that. And let me go off for just a second and say this because it's interesting. I think one of the reasons I think that I've always seen the mythology of X-Files as being so convoluted is, and I still think that later on it really is, but is because there's so much stuff in between the mythology episodes that once you get to the mythology episodes again, you have to rack your brain trying to remember what happened before because we haven't dealt with it in episodes and episodes. And so when you binge it, it's actually kind of easier to keep up with that stuff. Right. But then the problem is you get these really great episodes that you will sometimes that I anyway will sometimes kind of forget about because I've just watched several in a row, and they kind of start to run together a little bit. So those kinds of shows I don't think binge as well, of course, as stuff that is something like Breaking Bad, which is a straight up novel on screen that is one story from beginning to end and doesn't really have singular episodes.
So what was your answer for that?
What was the question?
Wow. What was the question? Best on-screen kiss. I'm kidding.
My answer is 60s Batman a second time.
So TV series you would never binge watch. You would not do that again.
I wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
No. That show is meant to be watched twice a week, and that's it. Yep. And I love it, but
there was a reason.
There was a reason.
It was on twice a week.
But also procedurals, in general.
My answer for that is Saved by the Bell. I could not binge watch that.
Oh, well, Full House comes to mind. Family Matters comes to mind.
Family Matters is another one I thought of. I don't think I could watch that over and over. Okay. Living actor or actress.
Okay.
You wish you could have lunch with.
This is just obvious for me, but I've always had an answer for that, and that's Patrick Stewart. Really big on my bucket list. I've never met Patrick Stewart, and I really want to.
I didn't think of him when I wrote this. That would be good.
That's never happened. There's certainly. I could sit here and try to think of others, but that's one. Just for the experience, I'm thinking mostly of older people, I guess. Just to pick their brains and get their experience, and also to know that, like, really eccentric people where you would have quite an experience. Who else would you want to sit down with but Jack Nicholson? Right? Like, that
was my answer.
Was it really?
Yeah, it would be Jack for me. But you brought up Patrick Stewart. Having seen him at a con, I think Jonathan Frakes would be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
I think he would.
But
he seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he'd be really down to earth and fun to sit down and talk to. And I can also go to people that I have met but haven't actually gotten to sit down and talk to.
Lunch.
Like
that.
Lunch. Probably a more realistic response would be Tony Todd. I got to talk to Tony Todd one-on-one for half an hour at a con once because there just wasn't anything going on, and he was so personable, and he's one of my favorite actors. I'd love to spend a couple hours with Tony Todd.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That was number 9. Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. We're almost 2/3 home here.
I'm terrified.
Favorite toppings on your pizza?
On-screen kiss. I go for a combination that a lot of people don't go. I can't believe I don't think I've ever brought this up on the channel.
We are learning something.
Because why?
Because why would you?
Most people go for Canadian bacon and pineapple. I think sausage and pineapple is a wonderful combination that nobody does. Specifically Italian sausage, because I like kind of spicier stuff on my pizza. But yeah, Italian sausage and pineapple. If you've never tried it, it's actually
I've never tried it.
It's a really good combination. It totally works.
You know my.
I think the acids complement each other. I think is a lot of what it is.
You know my favorite. Beef and bacon.
I did not know that.
Bacon cheeseburger.
I didn't know that. Well, growing up, we always had all kinds of different things.
We
so
did.
It didn't occur to me. And
we did.
You didn't order pizza as much as like my mom did, like my other side of the family.
Probably not as much as the average family.
I don't think you're not a giant pizza pro. Like you like pizza.
I like pizza.
You're not like my wife. You know what my wife says? My wife can have pizza twice a day, and say that it's different food as long as she ordered it from different restaurants.
Or different toppings.
That's my wife. She's like, as long as you got it from a different restaurant, it's not the same food.
Of course, one thing.
It's not pizza twice.
When you guys were kids at home, I cooked all the time.
Exactly.
So,
pizza's a thing you can cook. I don't think you ever have.
I don't think I ever cooked pizza.
I don't think you've ever cooked pizza.
I don't think I ever cooked pizza. Okay, number...
Have you ever cooked lasagna?
No. No, your mother has.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've not.
My wife makes a really good lasagna. Yeah.
I like lasagna. We
did Mexican constantly. When I was living at your house, I mean, like you made a lot of.
I also did pasta a lot.
You did do pasta a lot, yeah.
Like goulash and like that.
And of course, for anybody that because we haven't brought this up at all, but my dad used to run steakhouses, and of course, so we ate a lot of that kind of food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, number 11.
Number 11.
I like that voiceover.
Thanks.
Number 11.
Bat cap.
The person that you think. Oh, I promise you I wouldn't bring up politics, didn't I?
Oh, that's okay. That's
okay. The person you think should be on U.S. currency.
Oh, wow.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't know if it's a good question for me. Wow.
Who do you think should be on U.S. currency?
That isn't currently.
Where
you're like, how in the world? This is it's hard not to go for really obvious answers. Martin Luther King.
It's a good answer. I think popularity. I don't really have a definitive answer for that.
Oh, okay.
I think popularity.
Now, my question to you, and my dad, he's right here.
Hello.
Dad is really big into history and politics and stuff. Do you think that there is a president that contributed in a big enough way that he was kind of robbed for not being on currency? Is there somebody, or is there like a more contemporary president where you're like, if you started changing stuff around, this person?
I think that's more the likelihood. I think if you had a popularity contest on that, like in recent years, I think Ronald Reagan would come up.
Do you think so?
But it hasn't been enough years yet, probably.
Yeah, or Kennedy.
Kennedy is on the $50.
Oh, no, he is on the $50, isn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that.
He is on the $50.
As I said, this is not a good question for me. That's why I'm just going to cut this entire portion out. Just kidding.
See,
I forgot he was on the $50.
See, I thought you would say, oh, Stan Lee or somebody like that.
No, I want to make myself look like a complete idiot.
I thought we'd go from politics to science fiction real quick on that.
Did I have a decent
no, that's
good.
Did
you like my response?
Yeah, I like that. Okay. I don't know that there is a definitive answer for that. I don't know.
Well, it's obviously not always presidents, and it's often like really, and it's not even always necessarily politicians, right? I mean, you got Franklin.
No, you're exactly right. There's Franklin. There's Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's also people that maybe you wouldn't even think of, like Geraldine Ferraro ran for vice president. She was the first woman to be on a major ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people like that would come up.
Well, okay, if you want me to give something sort of close to like a science fiction, this isn't even fiction, but more of in that wheelhouse, I'll give you this. I wish we cared more about the space program in this country. I've always thought that, and if we did, I don't mean necessarily currency, but we ought to see more people people like Sally Ride and stuff like that, right? Like people that gave their lives for
Sally Ride, Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, but especially people that actually because we always we always celebrate like soldiers that gave their lives in the field of battle. We should celebrate people more, I think. I'm suddenly soapboxing on a thing I never talk about. We should I think maybe be celebrating people that also give their lives for like exploration and progress
For
and
whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
You know that sort of thing. So anyway,
I agree with that. You were thinking of Kristen McAuliffe.
Kristen McAuliffe.
That died in space.
I thought Sally Ride died
Sally Ride died recently.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Who died on the Challenger?
Kristen McAuliffe.
Is that who it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
The school teacher.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, the school teacher. So I don't remember when Sally.
I forget things sometimes. I'm sorry.
That's awful to say. Sally Ride did die recently.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
But it's been recent.
Yeah.
But she certainly.
I mean, but she's
first woman in space.
She's important.
Yeah, first woman in space. I actually remember when that happened.
Yeah.
The next day, USA Today, I think it was.
Well, this is what's really sad. Name one person who died on the Columbia. I can't.
No, I can't either. And that's sad.
Yeah.
The next day,
after we could look it up.
We could look it up, and we will look it up. The next day, after Sally Ride went into space, there was I think it was the USA Today, that had a full-page cover of that space shuttle going up, and the caption came from a classic rock song that said "Ride, Sally, Ride."
Yeah,
and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
that somebody thought of that.
Yeah, and I guess I just mistakenly thought that she was on the Challenger.
No, Kristen McAuliffe. I remember where I was the day that happened.
Clearly, I'm very comfortable with these sorts of questions.
Number 12.
Yeah.
Best. First of all, let me say 50 years or older. 50 years older. Today is 2015. So we're talking 1965 or earlier. The best classic movie you've ever seen.
65 or earlier?
That'd be 50 years. 65 or earlier.
Hard not to go with The Day the Earth Stood Still. That's often my big go-to. I also really like the original Time Machine from 1960.
Okay.
Obviously, it's hard for me not to go to science fiction places, but I also really like the Maltese Falcon.
See, I shouldn't have thought this, but I thought that would stump you for a minute, and you were quick on that. But you do a lot of movie watching.
Yeah. Maltese Falcon's a big one.
Now, I know you told me at one time, if I remember right,
Psycho is one of the most brilliant movies ever made.
I love Psycho.
That's before 65? Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I know it was in black and white.
Yeah,
I believe so. You once told me that you like, I think I'm right.
I like Vertigo. I like Rope.
You like Metropolis.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Metropolis is a big. Yeah.
Metropolis.
I love Fritz Lang.
When I first wrote this question, the first thing that popped in my mind.
Also just being on silent film for a minute, the silent film version of Zorro is
it really
brilliant.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's really good too. Anyway.
There's lots of movies that we didn't even mention that's that old or older. There's Gone with the Wind. There's Wizard of Oz.
Not favorites of mine necessarily. I mean, important movies, not favorites of mine.
And big movies of the day.
Sure.
But big box office draws of the day.
Yeah.
But my favorite, I would have to say, the first thing I thought of when I did this was the original Mighty Joe Young.
See, I've never seen that movie.
And if you've never seen that, that's a pretty good movie for the day. Stop motion, but it was a pretty good movie. Did you ever see Jason and the Argonauts?
Yeah.
The stop motion?
But that was in the 70s.
That was in the 70s. I think that was near
because that's Harryhausen.
Yeah.
I think that's Harryhausen.
Yes, I believe so.
And then, I think it's been a long time. My favorite Western is High Noon.
Okay.
I'm not a big Western guy.
I like True Grit.
And see, I've never seen the original.
That was pretty good. Okay. That was good. You really came up with a lot more in a hurry than I thought you might.
I feel better about that than I do
on-screen
kiss.
Number 13. Your favorite actor, and I had to think about this for a minute. Mm-hmm. Your favorite actor and this would be, I'm gonna tell a little bit here. This would be before
the actor that you always go for when you leave your house to go to the store.
the one.
the one.
If you're going after one actor, okay. Your favorite actor for you, for me, it would be before 1964. For you, it would be before 1984.
Before you were born.
But your favorite actor who died
before you were born. That's a great question. I don't know if I have a good answer.
You want me to tell you mine real
quick?
quick?
When did Marlon Brando die?
After.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Born,
ooh! That's tough. I gotta think about it.
That's
tough.
Mine is James Dean.
Okay.
Probably James Dean.
Okay. I don't immediately have one.
Well, we will.
I'm not immediately jumping.
We will put that in the same category as best on-screen kiss.
Well, no, but that's just a thing I got to think about a little bit. Well, 'cause the problem there is it's just remembering when people died. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you're right.
Like some of that is my mind doesn't immediately go to. I don't have like a catalog of people that passed away before I was born.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Because I mean, like a lot of my favorite actors or people that I really liked growing up have died in my lifetime already. I mean, like certain people have already passed away.
But you remember when they died.
But I remember when they died, and like, you know, I think of people like George Burns. I remember seeing his like 100th birthday a couple days before he died. And circa what 95, 96. Somewhere right there in the mid 90s.
Bob Hope died.
Yeah.
After you were born.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot.
That is an excellent question. I really like that. Obviously, Frank Gorshin didn't die till 02 or 03. I mean, like, I'm just thinking like
we mentioned John Wayne. He died before you. He died in 77.
Yeah, but see, I didn't grow up with John Wayne.
Right.
I mean,
I did.
Like I've seen some John Wayne, but I'm just not a big fan. I'm going through my list of actors I love, and everybody's either still alive or died while you were around and remembered it. Yeah.
What I think is great about that question, though, is for you to have a favorite actor that was born before you died. I mean, died before you were born. Yeah. Then that
strike that, reverse it.
That's right. Then that means that you only saw them on film.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying if they died before you were born,
yeah.
The only reason you are even aware of that person is because we have film.
Well, it's kind of true of everybody else, though, too, right?
Well, but I'm saying you never had a chance to meet them.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. But then a lot of the more high-profile people, you wouldn't anyway, probably.
Well, that's true, but you've met a lot of people.
I don't know if this would be my answer if you started riddling off people that I know. Just so that I have said something, I'm going to say George Reeves.
Okay. That's a very good answer.
I think that's a decent answer. But I'm sure something else could come up and trump it if I really thought about it.
I thought of James Dean.
Yeah.
Those type of actors in that day. James Dean,
Marilyn Monroe.
Then there's
Elvis Presley. Well,
no, Elvis died. I remember when Elvis died. He died in the 70s.
Yeah, but before I was born.
Yeah, I was talking about what I was thinking.
No, I know.
Rudolph,
but I was thinking of people. Anyway.
Rudolph Valentino. There were some major actors that died before I was born. But I thought about that for a while.
That's a really good question.
Okay, number 14.
And I should have said this a long time ago, but it'll be very. I would love, of course, to see other people's answers to some of this stuff.
Oh yes.
In the comments, and that's a big one I'd love to see from people, especially because people will make me feel old when some of them will, say things. And they were born in like 96, and
that's right.
And they'll actually be able to say some of the people that I'm talking about right now that I can't say because I'm older than them, older than you.
That's right.
Some of you.
We are to number 14.
14.
Best sidekick.
Best sidekick?
Or favorite sidekick?
Favorite sidekick?
Favorite sidekick.
Well, when you go to Robbins, and I feel like I just have to kind of start there while I'm noodling around. It's always Tim Drake before it's anybody else.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Again, this is a thing that I know that somebody else is going to think of something that I should have said. I don't know why. I'm going to Kato with the Green Hornet real hard. And I'm not a big Green Hornet fan.
You know why I'm smiling, right?
Because that's your answer?
I'm smiling because I was thinking of this question in terms of actors.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so, for me.
Yeah.
And when I read this to my wife, I immediately turned to her and I said, she said, who would you say?
Yeah.
And I said, well, first of all, I love Arthur from the Ticks.
From the Ticks, yeah.
I love Arthur. But
it's a good one, too.
I said I would go to the 66 Batman, and I would say Kato because of what Bruce Lee became.
Well, you don't have to go to 66 Batman. Obviously, that show was on.
Yeah, but I was thinking in terms of Bruce Lee being in that show. What I was thinking.
Yeah, right.
And because of what he became. I mean, he was so big later. So that's, I guess I think, maybe in terms of that. If I had to just go like animated or fictional, whatever, I would say Arthur probably.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
It's a good pick, and I can't believe you thought of that before I did. That's crazy.
I've got to think about this for a few days.
Yeah, you've had some time to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could, like...
You're on the spot. I wasn't on the spot.
Yeah, I haven't had time to, like, drive around and be on the shower or mow the lawn or anything. And I'm also trying to think, like, outside of superheroes, because obviously sidekicks are just, somebody that a hero of a story is running around with and is helping. So, like, there's sidekicks outside of superhero things.
You could even say Tano from the Lone Ranger. There's all kinds of sidekicks.
I mean, that's still closer to superhero, but...
It's closer, but it's still a little different than what you would think of.
But yeah, I mean, like, and then of course you have like partnerships where you can't really, say one side or the other. Right. You know what I mean? Like you look at something like Men in Black, and you don't really have sidekicks; you have partners.
Yeah, it's not really a sidekick.
Yeah.
So what was your?
Well, I want to steal yours and say Arthur, kind of at this point.
I think that's a good.
I kind of want to steal that, yeah. But I'm sure other things.
I think that's a good answer, but it depends on, and that would be another. I think you'll get the viewership to send in some things we didn't even think of.
Well, and here's another one. And this is kind of an odd response, but these days, because I've become so much more of a Daredevil fan the last few years, and even before the Netflix show. But I mean, the Netflix show is some of the best superhero stuff ever. And hard not to say Foggy Nelson. And what's interesting about that, of course, is that he's a sidekick to a guy who is a superhero, but when he's out of costume. But it still sort of counts, you know what I mean? And that's one of the things that's really interesting about that is that Matt Murdock is a character that is always trying to do the same thing in and out of costume, and so he's got a sidekick that doesn't get to know his secret identity, and that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, once he finds out, then the dynamic is really interesting. But I was like Foggy Nelson. He's a really flawed, but kind of lovable character. He just seems like a real down to earth kind of guy. So yeah,
cool. Number 15,
the last one.
We have come to the end.
All right, here we go.
Know your Captain Logan better.
The Last Crusade.
Here we go.
All right.
Your favorite, not necessarily anybody's best, but and I have to end in science fiction, okay? Your favorite science fiction quote. What's your favorite?
Wow. Jeez.
By Captain Logan.
It's impossible not to just immediately be flooded with Star Trek, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's me. That's the first 19 things I thought of.
Yeah. I mean, I have a very difficult time not immediately going to, Picard speeches and, Resistance is Futile, and like a million...
You know why I'm smiling,
other thing. No, I really don't. Do you have a Picard speech?
My answer to this was in First Contact.
See,
the line must be
drawn and I thought you might say that. Yeah. The problem is, the more I've dealt with First Contact, in reviewing and videos, because Sarah and I talk about it a lot. Have talked about it a lot, and she's got me. The more we've talked, the more I've come a little bit more around to some of Sarah's opinions on First Contact, and Picard is so out of character in that movie that when he gives that speech, it's a good speech. But there's no reason he should be giving it, is the problem. I'm not going to get into all that here, but I mean, like, in the context of that movie, yeah, okay, but the problem is he's giving that speech during one of the biggest problem issues of or sections of Picard as an action hero, and Picard shouldn't be an action hero. So that because why does he want revenge so bad?
And
he had a chance in TNG to destroy the Borg. He decided not to take it. Because he found one sympathetic. Why has he gone backwards? Anyway, so yeah.
Well, you know that I'm a big TOS fan. And there's Star Trek quotes all over the place.
Are you going to go with "risk is our business"?
What?
Risk
is our business.
Is our business.
No, there's multiple ones from TOS, but some very famous ones, like when Yeoman Rand says, "I've always tried to get you look at my legs,
look
at my legs," and Mary. I mean, there's all kinds of Star Trek quotes.
Really like the Kirk speech at the end of Mirror Mirror. That's always been one of my favorites. And then Spock's, just the delivery of it. It's not a great line out of context, but just the delivery Nimoy gives right after that of Captain, I will consider it. That whole section is really cool.
The episode escapes me right now because we're on the spot, I guess. But
your favorite TOS quote is "I am Kirok."
That's pretty funny.
Sorry.
That's pretty funny. Now, you remember when they're in the hallway and Spock and Kirk are trying to escape, and Spock tells the guard that there appears to be a multi-legged creature crawling on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And there's some great quotes.
That's always great. Wow. That's a tough one to pick one, because all these are the best one, and then you're like, I want to do research.
I said your favorite.
No, I know, but I mean, like, wow, she isn't just of science fiction in general.
And we've only talked about Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean,
there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah, like you've got like the Matrix. There is no spoon. Which I don't know, maybe isn't one of my favorite things, but there's a lot of really great quotes from that movie, and wow, just on the spot. That's on
the spot. The line must be drawn here is the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
Besides "Live long and prosper," but that was the first thing that popped in my head. So.
Wow.
That's what I went with.
I want to think some more. That one's.
Before we go,
that one's really
quick. We've done all 15 now. So
we have.
Before we go. Number 3.
I still don't have an answer.
On-screen. You know that you're going to get a flood of
really of good ones, I guess. I just
how did you not think of this?
It's not a thing I tend to think about a whole lot, Dad. I don't know, man. Yeah, boy, you got me with that one. You got me with the quote one too. I still haven't said one I feel good about.
Oh, the favorite science fiction.
Yeah, quote. Oof.
See, there was all kinds of things that didn't make the list too, and then I realized that you're not a great big breakfast fan, right?
Breakfast?
Yeah, I almost asked you what your favorite breakfast cereal was.
Oh yeah,
or what your favorite breakfast food was.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a big breakfast.
I thought you didn't eat breakfast a lot for some reason. I
don't know why you thought that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
you raised us eating breakfast for dinner a lot.
Well, that's because
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
we did a lot of that kind of thing.
That's true.
My favorite cereals are probably Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch is in there, and then
I'm a Captain Crunch fan. I've in later years,
and then Lucky Charms.
I've become a Rice Krispie fan.
Oof, I don't like Rice Krispies.
I like Rice Krispies. And I just bought a box of Alphabets, and I'm almost through it already.
Alphabet. Oh, I forgot that existed.
It exists. I haven't had Alphabets in forever.
I haven't. So there used to be commercials for that all the time when I was a kid.
I don't see that anymore.
Wow.
Favorite flavor of Jell-O.
You just brought back the age of 6 just that entire year.
Alphabet.
Green.
That must be Jell-O and not breakfast cereal, right?
Yeah, and also not a flavor because it's a color.
Did I say flavor?
Yeah, you did. But I thought it would be funny to say green.
Is green your favorite?
Yes.
So I like red.
Green's my favorite flavor of Jell-O.
I like red. Red is my favorite flavor.
That's another Scotty quote too. It is green.
Oh, I just thought I just thought of a TNG quote that I love.
Yeah. See, I always go to the funny ones like good tea, nice house, and prune juice, a warrior's drink.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, yeah.
A warrior's drink.
Name the episode.
I don't know.
Yesterday's Enterprise.
Okay.
That's the teaser.
I'm much more into TOS.
That's the teaser that opens
TNG,
that. And you know why that's there? Because he's not in the rest of the episode.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
because when they change the timeline, they're at war with the Klingons.
Oh,
so Worf's not on that ship, yeah.
A warrior's drink.
So they open
There are some great
They
ones.
open it to establish Guinan as a major character in that episode, and then they get rid of Worf.
Do you remember, do you still have that, because, by the way, have you ever shown everybody what all you collect?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's been a while, and there will be sometime in the near future, by the way, another collection video. But
I once got Captain Logan for his collection. I got him a package of napkins that were TNG. Do you remember those?
yeah, we used them.
Did you
We used
use
them in Star
them?
Trek Club, yeah. I still have a few, but we used them.
What did it say on them?
It was something about 10. It was a 10 forward
It
thing.
said 10 forward. You cannot replicate our hospitality.
That's what it is. You can't replicate our hospitality. Yeah.
That was so cool when I saw that.
That's great. All I can do right now is go to comedic Star Trek quotes. I'm having a hard time thinking of the serious stuff. It's bizarre. Did you know that there's an episode?
What about screaming Khan at the top of your lungs?
Yeah, I mean
No.
that's kind of obvious. Did you know that there is an episode in later DS9 where Quark says there's this part. It's during the Dominion War when Quark, in all seriousness, says, "War. What is it good for? If you ask me, absolutely nothing."
But
I can't believe they snuck that in a Star Trek episode.
it's a rock and roll quote from, 300 years before?
Isn't that hysterical?
That's hilarious.
What is that? That's not Earth, Wind, and Fire. Who is that?
Now you put me on the spot.
It wasn't War, was
I wanted to say War, but it's not War.
I don't think it is
Somebody
War.
else. They'll tell us.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of that
There is going on.
on. Wow, I don't know. I feel really put on the spot with some of these. Good job. I mean, like,
Well,
you came up with some stumpers.
I
Fantastic.
I had about 3 times as many questions. And I worked it down.
Well, I mean, maybe down the road we can do it again.
That'd be fun.
And I'll study next time.
How can you study for that?
I have no idea.
I don't know
I'll
either.
just read a lot of Wig. Just get my mind in a place.
Best Julia Child quote.
No!
It needs more butter.
Don't do that!
It needs more butter. Okay.
Well,
I've enjoyed this.
I have too. It's been a lot of fun. I know as soon as we turn the camera off, I'm going to think of more quotes that are
5,000 things.
outside of this. I don't know if that'll immediately come up with a better on-screen kiss or what. Like, it's all I could think of were almost kisses. Like that's all I was able to come up with. And I do so much superhero movie stuff that I'm having a hard time getting my brain to other stuff. But
I really thought you would say Spider-Man. That's what I thought.
yeah, I would. Yeah.
Actually, I thought as soon as I said that question, you would. I didn't think that would stump you.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Totally got me with that. Well, anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
We sure appreciate it. And Dad, come back again sometime soon.
I will.
Maybe I'll do that to
will.
you.
That would be fun.
Maybe I'll do this to you.
There you go. And I will see if I can wear another random baseball cap.
Yeah, that is Idaho State Bengals. I wonder if folks this whole time have been like, why is he?
Are there any Idaho State Bengal fans out there?
My dad is from Arkansas. I don't know what. Originally, I don't know what Idaho State.
It was a random hat. I liked it.
You buy that with some burlap sacks or
Saps.
burlap saps.
No, I did not. I found it in a thrift store, and I liked it. And I have worn it how many times with you? I've worn it a whole bunch.
For some reason, yeah. Well, anyway, on that note, folks, thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. I'm Captain Logan. This is my dad.
I'm Joe. I'm Captain Logan's dad.
And I will see you again sometime in the very near future. Also, don't forget, Sunday night, The Great Debate, 9 p.m. Central Time, right after Primetime Crisis. Come watch Steve and Dan duke it out to decide who is the greatest who is the greater pop culture icon, Spider-Man or Batman. Come support your favorite, and we will see you on Sunday. I'm Captain Logan. This is my dad. Thanks a lot. See you later.